Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, second-year quarterback Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans face off with Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Just as we were ready for air, it was the Colts emerging from the locker room to great fanfare here at Indy. They're ready to go as the Colts get set to match up with the Houston Texans. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, we take a look at the Colts entering play. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
The Texans send out second-year man Kaimi Fairbairn to get us started. And we are underway here on EA Sports. Brandon Oliver now on the return. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their quarterback, the Stanford man. It's Andrew Luck.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
One touchdown, one pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. Space to maneuver at the 40. 16 yards to pick up there. The Colts have a first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
On first down, Luck. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. And here are the Colts offensive starters.
Jack Doyle has to be one of the most unheralded players in the NFL. I remember him when he came out of Western Kentucky. Most thought he'd be the number 2, number 3 tight end on any team he played on. Instead, how about last year? 80 catches, second only to Travis Kelce of Kansas City, named to his first Pro Bowl, and I expect continued excellent play from him. Excellent route runner and a very good blocker as well.
And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
Well, that play was over before it even got started. Thanks for nothing, huh? How about that? That sets up a very difficult third down call now.
Throwing on third down, Luck. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 39, and his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. After the interception, here's Watson. Dumps it complete to Miller. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll make it a second down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Now Foreman, and he's got the first down, yardage before being taken down at midfield. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
Well, that was big right there because they're in the bottom 5 in the league and converting on 3rd down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. John Simon in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility of the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced, you're wanting a little bit of everything out of all of your guys. But let's just go ahead and break it down and make it simple. The guy who's the right defensive end versus a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. He's going after the quarterback. He's going to put him on the ground.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. A shotgun snap for Watson. And this is going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
And he'll get only a couple up to the 22. And a look now at the defense for Houston.
The undisputed leader of Houston's defense is J.J. Watt, who's been slowed by injuries over the last 2 seasons, only 8 games combined. But also, he gets work done off the field. The NFL Walter Payton Man of the Year in 2017, with his work helping the flood victims of the city of Houston, raised nearly $40 million for the cause.
To throw on 2nd down is Locke. And this is going to be incomplete. Eric Ebron, the big tight end, is intended target. And it's 3rd down.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
Luck now to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. Indianapolis moving the chains there on a gain of 12. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off here by Aaron Colvin. And it's a touchdown.
Well, partner, I do know this. If you're a defensive back, you have more chances to make a team now than ever because people are using 5 defensive backs, 6 defensive back packages. Not exclusively, but way more than before. That was a nickel package there, and what a pickoff.
Why is that? Why are they using that more?
Because more people are throwing the ball on earlier downs than ever before. This has become a passing league, and because of that, more defensive backs on the field on most plays.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Here's Oliver. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. Expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
They'll run with Mack. And he'll get this one up to the 26. It's Kareem Jackson making the play defensively.
Well, obviously, they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead, now, they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. Now Mack. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we've hit the end of quarter one. 7-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Colts in possession of the football to begin quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. Out of the gun, Luck. Now a hit, and Luck lost the football. It's out, and the Texans scoop it, and he will score. It's a touchdown. It gives some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And the Colts coming out now. And they weren't on the sidelines for long, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad you and I weren't down there. We could hear them. The coaches from all the way up here, they were adamant, you've got to hold on to the football or else we have no hope.
Yeah, it's easy for me to laugh sitting up here, but you're exactly right. If we were down there, that message would have been received a whole different way. Because turnovers, they've been a big problem for them. Got to take care of the football. Got to hold on to it.
On second down, here's Locke. Over the middle, complete. That's Darrell. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays out there.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The former #1 overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney. Coming hard on the blitz, he dumps him for a loss of 8.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working.
And Luck will be intercepted for a 3rd time. Picked off by Kareem Jackson. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick 6. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. Fairbairn now to add the extra point. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and it's now 21-0. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. Now the Colts offense gets ready to head back on the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. This is caught. It's Ryan Brand. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
What do you think, Brandon? I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that.
Now a hit and lock. Lost the football. It's out. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Looking the Colts, looking for something big here after the sack. This is 3rd and long. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Indianapolis right after this. We'll remind you once again, coming up at halftime, we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He's got stats and scores from around the NFL as we wrap up the first month of the season.
No longer is he a rookie. The coach, a true veteran now.
A crafty veteran. Looking the Colts, looking for something big here after the sack. This is 3rd and long. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
I can't help it. I'm just sitting back in admiration right now. This defense tells everyone that plays against them, you're not beating us running the football. That's who we are. That's what we're about. It's not going to happen. If you're going to beat us, you better pick another way.
Now a first down throw. Watson. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision. And receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, but maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
That's going to be a 6-yard gain. It leaves him with 3rd down and just a yard to go.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. Bill O'Brien, an offensive mind, and he's going to trust his offense here. They're going for it on 4th. They'll run. It's Miller. And the athleticism on the spin move allows him to pick up the first before he's brought down. On first down, it's Watson. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone. A lot to get to here this final day of September. So let's get started. We'll start right here in Florida. The New York Jets heading down the coast to take on Jacksonville. And it's the Jets who are out in front in that one. Teddy Bridgewater with 3 touchdown passes. From there, we head to Foxborough to check on the Patriots at home at Gillette Stadium. And right now, they have the lead over the visiting Dolphins. Tom Brady, sharp as ever. He's got 2 touchdown passes. Finally, let's get to the country music capital of the world. See what's happening with the Titans at home in Nashville. And they currently trail the visiting Philadelphia Eagles. Alshon Jeffrey, a touchdown reception. In our game is Deshaun Watson, showing no ill effects from that knee injury that knocked him out last year. His guys have a 3-touchdown lead as we're about ready to go into the second half. And to get you through it, we give it back to Brandon Gaud.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Here comes Bruce Ellington on the return. Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
And while that play was unsuccessful to start the second half, I'm not sure that you just totally abandon what you do running the football. Maybe you make some adjustments in your run game and do things a little bit differently. That doesn't necessarily mean you just go to the pass and do nothing else. So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right, you look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. Play action for Miller. Now Watson. Blitz coming, and down he goes. John Simon in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon.
To me, the defense was looking a little gassed near the end of the first half, but they come out of the locker room with a little extra spring in their step. Wonder what they did at halftime to get them so motivated.
I don't know, but that sack looked good. Now let's see if they can build on the momentum of that play. A big hitter that time in the punt game. 66 yards on the boot. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Luck and the Colts come up now 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Here's Luck. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Here's Luck now on 2nd down. Going for the deep ball. And that one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football here. Nearly a 4th pick. And it's 3rd down. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Luck, he's going to float this one deep right side. And that one incomplete. Had some position, but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Call that 49 yards on the punt. They do get 7 back on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Good starting field position for the Houston Texans here as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
To throw on 2nd is Watson. Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Bashaud Breeland. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. If they needed a break, they needed to make a play here in the 3rd quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and say, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
Now Luck. Kinner here, it's complete. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. That'll go as a loss of 5. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. A shotgun snap for Luck. He's going to loft it deep right sideline. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. And now out comes Houston. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. On 2nd and 10, Watson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Kayvon Webster. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. Charles, when plays like that work, it's a thing to behold, but sometimes we see why they're very deep in the playbook.
And how many times have we been at practice and heard all the other guys chirping about, you know, I used to play quarterback in high school. I can do this until it becomes a game situation. Not quite the same in many cases.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. Then his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off here by Aaron Colvin. And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They are excited about where they are in this game. Call
that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And it'll make this a 2nd and long. Now it's Watson. Caught left side Hopkins. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've only converted once in 4 tries. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. Watson hands this to Foreman. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4 down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Indianapolis. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Watson now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Watson. Oh, so close to an interception. Read that beautifully. Got his hands on it, couldn't get it. And it's 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size.
And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans will add on to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning, right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that makes the score 28-0. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. Here's Oliver. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. Luck and the Colts come up now 1st and 10 at their own 24. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Doyle. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line.
Well, that wasn't exactly a work of art, was it?
No, that wasn't a thing of beauty. This is why I don't play in points per reception fantasy league.
Is that what they call
the receiver
PPR?
still gets a point there. Yeah.
No.
And you went that far back. No bueno.
Well, I'll tell you what. I wish I had their defense on my fantasy game.
The Colts on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 17. From the gun, here's Love. Man open right side, it's Rodgers. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. Let's not forget, a year ago, this was a last-place team in their division in the National Football League. How quickly the fortunes can turn.
And somewhere, there's a former commissioner smiling down and looking because parity was something he was looking for in this league, and it plays itself out year after year. Last to first is not something that's uncommon in the NFL.
Yeah, season ago, they didn't have one performance like this, but they put it all together in this ballgame. A pickup of 11 and a Texans 1st down.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
Being chased out left. Maybe not exactly what they had in mind, but that scramble good for 6 and a 1st down. Watson on 1st down, escaping the pressure right. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
To throw is Watson. Stepping up, he'll try and run. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a 1st down.
Offensively, they liked their situation, so they tried to take a shot downfield, but no one was open. So it was tuck it in run time, and he picks up a first down.
They'll run with Foreman. And he'll work his way inside the 30 now to the 28. It's a gain of 8, and it's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got a second down now as they look to salt this one away. They run again with Foreman. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
But they're getting ready to go to work now in prime real estate after that last run. Found his spot and picked up nice yardage, didn't he?
And now he's got him knocking on the door of the red zone. A first down carry now for Miller. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
And Watson's going to throw it here. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it with Miller. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
They'll try the air now with Watson. Steps away to his left. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Now let's see who this is on.
Illegal forward pass. Offense.
So he was past the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
And as they say, that's a no-no. Got to be able to understand where you are on the field and not cross the line before throwing the ball downfield.
And the penalty certainly makes things tougher here as they try again. 3rd and goal. Here's Miller. Fights off the defender. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Kaimi Fairbairn now to attempt the Texan field goal. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. Fairbairn able to put this one through. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Here's Oliver. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Here's Locke. Over the middle here, it's Hilton. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. Now the Colts going to burn the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock. From the 50, it's Locke. Caught left side by Hilton. And he'll be down deep in Houston territory. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game. They'll run it now out of the gun. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. And he'll indeed get him to the line and spike it here to stop the clock. And that one hits the ground incomplete. So now just 4 ticks left in this one. One last throw here for Locke. And this is going to be caught. So it affects the final score, not the outcome, but it is a late touchdown here on the game's final play. Doesn't affect the outcome, but hey, nice job there to put it in the end zone for the final play.
Could it affect other things? Sometimes these types of scores are ones that we don't consider big at the time. Then later on we find out maybe that was a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Or, of course, in the fantasy football world, these points mean a lot.
A lot there. Just a formality now, but here's the extra point. The extra point is good, but it only impacts the final score as this game comes to a close. But Charles, it's great to win at home in the NFL. When you win on the road, it's a little extra special, isn't it?
It is, because, let's face it, in most cases, you're not expected to go on the road and win in the National Football League. It just doesn't usually compute. So to get out there, get that done, and then head back to your city with one in the victory column, oh, that's a fantastic feeling.
So for Houston, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, for Indianapolis, they'll drop down to 1-3. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Foxborough to face off against the New England Patriots. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.
Pulling up in that new toy, the wrist on that boy.